About a year and a half ago, I published a video about this SBC, single board computer. You can see from the cool design here that it's called the Zimaboard. And in addition to the quad CPU inside, we have dual gigabit Ethernet. You can see I've got some Ethernet cables hanging out of it already. Dual USB 3.0, we've got DC in for power, mini DisplayPort 1.2, and we've got two SATA ports built in. Dual SATA, we've got SATA power here, but maybe the thing that's obvious here is that this has a PCI Express card slot, and I've got a PCI Express card for an old Samsung 960 EVO NVMe SSD. But you can use this card slot to put in Wi-Fi adapters, networking adapters if you want faster Ethernet connections. You can use this in a number of different ways. It's a really interesting device. Now, this is bigger than my Raspberry Pi, and you can use both of these for networking. You can use them for Linux builds. I'm actually using this as a crypto validator just now, which if you know anything about cryptocurrency, you know what that is. But one of the things about this, yes, this is bigger, but this has a fan. The Raspberry Pi 5 here has a fan. The Zimaboard does not. It is completely fanless. It is completely noiseless because effectively most of the Zimaboard is this big massive heatsink on top here. And that's what is dissipating heat. Now, I'm sure you've seen this type of build before. I've got an NVMe enclosure, which I'm going to review soon. And that's kind of got a similar design. This does not have a fan. It's just one big heatsink to cool an NVMe. But what if the whole PC was fanless? Well, there's a few options out there now, but one that caught my eye was announced this week, and it's called the Senza. So it's by Arctic, which if you've built PCs before, I'm sure you're aware of them because they build all-in-one coolers, etc. And the idea behind this is that the Senza sits underneath your desk. It's supposed to be invisible and noiseless. There's no fans at all. And that's because the PC, again, is one big heatsink. So it's a really interesting concept. It's not for everyone. Not everyone wants a PC like this. I'm aware of that. But I think it's quite interesting that this even exists because it's quite a niche thing. So you can see here that the Senza under desk PC. It's €730 there for the top model, but it goes down to a 5500 GT CPU. That brings the price down to €600. So from €600, you can get this PC. And the idea behind it is you've got the main PC and then you've got like your connection panel. Now, if you go down here, you can see that it's pre-installed. The model that I've selected here has a Ryzen 7 5500 GT. If I change it to the 5700G Pro, you can see it updates there. It's got an AMD Radeon Vega 8 for graphics, 32 gigabytes DDR4, a 1 terabyte NVMe drive, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, USB 3.2 Gen 2, completely passive. So there's no fans, there's no noise at all. Zero. This thing is completely silent. You would not even know that it's on. I'm suspecting, there's some heat there. You can see from the pictures here what's going on. You set the panel here underneath your desk, and that's where your connections are. And the PC is going to be underneath. And, rather than having this big massive PC, and that's what I'm rocking just now, this big massive PC, you've got this little discrete PC that just sits underneath your desk, and all you see is the panel connection. So this gives you an idea of what's going on with the cables, etc. And it's really interesting. I do find stuff like this cool. I find it interesting. There's a part of me that wants to get it. But if you're looking at it from a specifications point of view, then clearly you're not getting a lot for your money. You're paying a premium for no noise. And for some people and for some situations, that's a premium worth paying. But if you look at the specs, etc., you'll notice that, some of the specifications are subpar. HDMI 2.0, DisplayPort 1.2. You've got two USB 2.0 ports. I get it. A USB 2.0 port can be used for your mouse and for your keyboard and for connecting a kind of low bandwidth device. But I just don't like seeing it. I like the flexibility of USB 3.0 ports. or higher, because if I'm using a wireless keyboard or wireless mouse, then those USB ports tend to be useless. But you've got some USB 3.2 ports there. We don't have Thunderbolt, we don't have USB 4 or anything like that. So from a connections point of view, it's quite limited in my opinion. You can see the specifications there as far as the Ryzen CPU and all that. And yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. I do like the idea of this. I think in many ways though, it's not a replacement. I don't think this is a replacement for a desktop PC. I don't think so anyway. Sorry, I'll let you guys completely see that there. I don't think that this is a replacement for a desktop PC for most people, because you build a desktop PC or you buy a desktop PC to play games, so you want a big graphics card in there, etc. But this is clearly a lot more powerful than my single board computer here. It's a lot more capable, and you can use this to connect up to 4 monitors. You can use it in a lot of different situations, and for a lot of people, this will do everything they need it to do. Do you know what I mean? It's going to work on a day-to-day basis. It might not be a fantastic gaming machine, but it could be good for older games. It's a really interesting concept though. Not for everyone. You are paying a premium. You're not getting top of the range specs. I mean, that's kind of clear looking at the specs there. But it's a really interesting device. So I'll put it over to you guys. I'd love to hear what you think about this invisible, noiseless Senza under desk PC. Very interesting, very different from what we normally see being announced, what we normally see being released in the market. So let me know what you think about it, guys. Leave a comment down below. And until next time, take care.